What's going on, Aquarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for April 20th through May 5th, 2023. So, as most of you know, we are smack in the middle of eclipse season. We just had a solar eclipse in Aries on the 19th or 20th of April, depending on where you are in the world. And we will have a very powerful lunar eclipse in Scorpio on the 5th of May, 2023. So this reading is really going to be for in the middle of these two eclipses. Aquarius, we're going to take a look at your past, present, and future energies as it pertains to the eclipse season. But because Mercury just went retrograde, let me explain exactly what I mean so that you can better follow along this reading. Your recent past energies will be represented by the time frame up until the 20th of April, so before April 20th, the solar eclipse. Current general energies, present moment energy, will be represented by the time in between the eclipses, so the 20th of April to the 5th of May, and then your immediate future energies in this particular reading will be representative of the time period after May 5th, after the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Now, keep in mind, Aquarius, just because, eclipses bring permanent change, and especially this one in particular with Aries and even the Scorpio one, there's an element of permanent change happening. I don't know if you can feel this. I know that you can actually, but the energy right now is like most powerful time of the entire year. So that being said, let's go ahead and pull the energy. But before we do, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Aquarius, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already. I would really appreciate that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and pull the energy and see what wants to come through for you in this eclipse season. Oh yeah, one last thing. For those of you Aquariuses who are an Aquarius sun sign, born from January 26th to February 5th, if your birthday is from the 26th to the 5th of February, January, this Mercury retrograde that we are now in is going to really hammer you more than other people, right? So just be aware of that. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and pull the energy. Aquarius. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Aquarius. One more, Aquarius, one more. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and start this reading off for you with your opportunity for this eclipse season, Aquarius. Your opportunity is the 8 of Wands. All right, so this is all about communication, speed, openness, travel. We're going to have to see when we clarify, but the 8 of Wands being in your opportunity, if there's a change that needs to be made, don't wait. Now, here's the thing. Because, especially for those of you born from the 26th to the 5th and you're a sun, Aquarius, be careful about making any sort of long-term changes at this time. But for others of you here, the 8 of Wands is, so this may be just something, thinking about something, communicating something, but for a lot of you, there's a quick change happening for sure. So opportunity, Eight of Wands, maybe even being conscious of your communication more than you usually are. In your challenge, you have the Star. Okay, so the Star in your challenge is really about renewal and also wish fulfillment here, Aquarius. So for some of you, your challenge in the Star is not going for something you really wish for here, settling. There is an energy. The problem is the energy of this eclipse is upgrade, and you can feel it in your bones. And many of you are going after it, but for many of you, there's a sense of upgrade that you want, but then it's like when you even think about it, you're like, oh no, that's not for me. Oh, then that couldn't be for me. And so the Star in your challenge, we're going to have to see, but for some of you, that's going on. For others of you, it's just a time of renewal. There could be a period, a feeling of overwhelm, energetic, being overwhelmed energetically. But because the Eight of Wands is here in your opportunity, journal it, write it down, document it, study your reactions, be like... Eight of Wands is pretty intellectual, if you ask me. So just be aware of that. Now, when it comes to your recent past energy, you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Death card, and you also have the Eight of Swords here. So remember, the recent past in this particular reading represents the time up until the solar eclipse in Aries, but obviously use your intuition if you feel differently for your personal self. But here we go. I mean, in the recent past here, there clearly was an ending and a new beginning to something that made you feel stuck, right? Eight of Swords is feeling really stuck, but the Death card is here, so there was some sort of ending to that stuckness that led to a new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. For a lot of you, you really overcame a very deep health issue. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Diagnostic astrologer in the making, but that's neither here nor there. For some of you, you really overcame a big health issue, or there may be unresolved health issues that you thought were going to say stuck are now resolved in your past. Or for some of you, this could have to do with even your work, right? Ace of Pentacles. Some of you could have been forced out of something. So if you recently got fired, there's now opportunity for new, and even if that happens during this eclipse, because there is a danger for some of you Aquarians who, what I'm getting is like, the changes that you needed to make, but if you still haven't made them, there is something here, and I'm not getting this for all of you, I'm getting this for maybe 30% of you that are listening to this right now, around roughly, there's a situation that if you ignore your intuition, if you ignore the facts, if you ignore what's going on, the universe may take something away from you here, Aquarius, because, but it's not, so just be aware of this, be careful, because you have the Ten of Wands, the Tower, and the Three of Cups here when it comes to your overall general energy, present moment energy in between the eclipses. So don't be surprised if something really shocks you, shocking, especially even when we get to the 5th, Scorpio, that lunar eclipse at 14 degrees of Scorpio is really going to reveal something, and there may be the beginnings of that starting to happen in your life. For a lot of you, there's going to be an end to a friend group in your life. Three of Cups is social interactions, peer group, ending to it, Tower, blow up, shocking. And then you have the Ten of Wands, which is being, it's a burden, so who cares if it's gone? But I am just be physically careful, please. There's a really weird message coming through about we get what we're used to getting, subconscious mind. Some of you who recently I'm putting this out there so that you can be aware of energy and so that you can change the timeline, right? The reason why we do tarot is if we don't like what we see showing up in the timeline, we can then change the energy. For some of you, you recently got over a health issue, but because you're used to always having a health issue, there's going to be a new one that pops up in between eclipses. And for some of you, it could be quite like an accident, you fall, you hurt your arm, something like that. So be careful. I'm just getting there's an element of clumsiness in between eclipses for you. And there also is an element of what is in your subconscious mind may resurface for you to look at one last time. So I think the worst of it is over for those of you dealing with the health issues. But even if it's not a health issue, if it's a career issue, there's something about being clumsy. There's also something about, for those of you that have been called to let go of a career here, Aquarius, in the past, but you're still holding on to it out of fear. And sometimes, listen, you need to. Like, sometimes you just got to put food on the table. That's one thing. But if you, have plotted an escape route and then you haven't even done the first step to get into the escape route when it comes to your career here, there is an element here of the universe really blowing it up in your face, like Aquarius, like, this has got to go, So just be aware of that. But here's the thing. Whatever you got going on after the 5th of May, it's all happening for a deeper reason. Your immediate future following the 5th of May is the Judgment card upright, the 7 of Wands, and also the 10 of Pentacles here, Aquarius, okay? So with this energy, it's great. There's a new long-term foundation coming in for you, but there is this feeling of having to fight for it, Even if this is mentally, even if this is your own inner thing. Now, for a lot of you, this actually has to do with society at large, Aquarius. And this is one of those readings I genuinely apologize for not saying this sooner. I genuinely do, because sometimes I get the download halfway through the reading and I'm like, oh damn, I should have said that before. But what I'm getting from this very strongly, Aquarius, is that this 10 of Wands, Tower, 3 of Cups in between eclipses, if it doesn't have to do with a career ending or a friendship ending, what this has to do with, Aquarius, is the ending to an old social structure that you, being an Aquarius, is meant to bring in some sort of new social rule, right? Pluto leaving Capricorn, entering Aquarius. Really, this is the end of the old world. There's been many people, I've seen it and I feel it, that the 20th of April is day 1 of the new Earth. So those of you who have been trying to exist in a Capricorn, very top-down, controlling corporation, or you're trying to do business practices, or you're trying to do friendships in the old way of Capricorn, it ain't going to work anymore. For those of you who own a business, you might want to look at changing your business practices. For those of you, if you have a vision for the world here, there could be something about, there's a burden on your back here to really aid the old world crumbling. So what this means is it could manifest many different ways for you, Aquarius, but for those, and this is really, that does apply. So take the personal stuff, but no matter who you are, the old world that is ending, right? Sometimes we see advertisements that seem cheesy, oh, the world we know it is changing, so you might as well adapt to it. It's no one understands how real that is up until right now. When I walk outside right now, the sky looks different. There's something about this eclipse, timeline jump. We're not in the same reality we were. At all. And if you try to operate like you're in that old reality, well, then you're going to be in for a very rude awakening. So there is something about bravery that will be naturally instilled in you as you go forward. Because here's the thing. Once again, I'm sorry I showed it to you, but then I had to backtrack for a second. Immediate future. May 5th onward. 10 of Pentacles upright. 7 of Wands upright. Judgment card upright. Some sort of major download about your long-term path in life. Major download about, your long-term goals, your legacy. 10 of Pentacles here. Some of you that are already in a 10 of Pentacles system, aka corporation that you were meant to get out of, or you're meant to implement change, but you're too afraid to implement the change, or you're too afraid to leave it. There's going to be a judgment that you need to start fighting for what you believe in. So for some of you, there's going to be you're from the inside out. For others of you, it's about leaving. It's about creating a new legacy somewhere else. Just to give you an example, public school system. Everyone knows. I just feel like I'm coming off as some weird I have an American accent, but I sound like British, it's in my blood, but I just feel like the way I'm coming off is a little harsh right now, but it is what it is, right? I think you can handle it, Aquarius. But here's the thing, what I'm saying. everyone knows that like within certain systems there are light workers within systems, and those people are meant to be in those systems. So take public school. We've all had the teachers that were not of the same frequency of the academy. You know, we have all seen the teachers who have the light in their eyes, who exist in a slave matrix system, but knows how to get around it, knows how to be the light in that room. Some of you, that's what you're going to be here. And that's a hard path. So do you really want to do that, or do you want to create something new? Because that's what basically you have going on here. I know some of you are freaking out because I gave you that specific example, because some of you are literally in that space as a teacher. Wow. So let's go ahead and start clarifying this reading. All right, let's go ahead and clarify why the Eight of Wands is here in your opportunity, Aquarius. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah. One more. The Eight of Wands is clarified by the Five of Cups, the Death card, and the King of Pentacles here in your opportunity here. You also have the Death card in your recent past, so there may be something that you already closed out, now finally closing it out here. But clearly there's some sort of your opportunity is to embrace the sadness about some sort of ending here, right? Embrace the pain, embrace the change here, really. You have the Star in your challenge, so for some reason it's hard for you to really let go of something emotional here. You also have the King of Pentacles here, so for those of you not really dealing with any sort of interpersonal career change or interpersonal relationship change, this has to do with the collective. You, once again, I always get these messages about you being in tune with the collective, and right, Pluto is it's leaving. Pluto having to do with power, right? It's leaving Capricorn, moving into Aquarius. It's going to go back and forth for a little bit, but basically we're already in we're moving into the age of Aquarius, so there could be some grieving about, like, a lot of you have let the social pressure of the matrix hold. Yeah, that's what this is about. Many of you have let the social pressure of the matrix that we find ourselves in hold you back from really shining as bright as you can, having a wish that you want to go for, changing the world. For those of you that have who have let that matrix, that, you know, the social environment hold you back, you're going to be feeling a little bit weird, because it's almost like you're going to instantly feel the change. Like, oh, we're not in the same parallel reality anymore, so all the time that I spent in this stupid system and fighting with myself, it's like, it's just, some of you may be really being like, how much time did I waste? And I can't believe it. I can't believe I just didn't go for it. But there's still that letting go process, because you have the Death, the Eight of Swords, so it's really something you're struggling with here. Some of you, this is definitely going to be a breakup reading. But wow, it's just, yeah, I just did very intense for you, Aquarius. Let's go ahead and see why the Star card is here in your challenge. Star card is clarified by the Sun, the Strength, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, I mean, having the strength to go for your own personal happiness and really being done questioning it, right? Like, stop questioning what is going to make me happy, what's going to make me not happy, and just do what you feel. Like, there's something about, it's hard for me to translate this frequency, but I think most of you understand, like, based off the entirety of the reading up until this point, you understand what this is about personally for you. Some of you, this is going to have to do with, like, what your soul really wants. I don't know, I'm not really connecting to that, like, or I'm not getting anything specific. So let the archetypes of the cards speak to you. Let's Let's go to the present moment, because I don't really want to focus too much on your past. You have the Ace of Pentacles, Death, Eight of Swords, an ending, a new beginning of stuckness. But I feel like it's still, whatever that was, it's still like, yeah, it's to the breaking point of, you have the World popping out here. So you are due for a major, this whole eclipse, especially the one that just happened in Aries on the 20th or the 19th, there's a sense of upgrade here. Major upgrade. But for those of you that have been clinging to a person, a place, or a thing that doesn't serve you, this upgrade is going to make you feel, I'm just getting like kind of like an idiot. And that's okay, because at that point we determine who are the people who will be remembered and the people who won't be. We'll determine the people who are being successful and failure, the people who are free or slaves of some sort. Like at that choice point, when you realize this is happening, frequency, it's bigger than what I can, anything I say with my verbal words is not going to translate the energy that we're talking about here. Life is not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. Your destiny is not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. And I just get this thing where there's a danger for some of you to shell up. I don't know why. It's like social embarrassment, or it's like it's being stuck in there's something about like this new earth, like there's this pearl, like this clam is like opening for you, and as soon as it's going to open, many of you are going to be like, no, I don't want it. And then you're just going to be like in the Matrix. But then it's going to be so miserable for you. Wow. Intense reading. Let's go ahead and clarify why this tower is here. This really is a collective, just don't get too attached to my words, please. Just focus on the frequency or whatever hits you're getting. Thanks. The tower is clarified by the Five of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and also the Five of Wands. Change. Number 5. Change. Tower. Change. Unexpected change. Page of Cups involved in an immaturity. Optimism. But it's like, wow. For some of you, and you have the Three of Cups here. So for some of you, there's like a large group of people that's leaving your life from in between the eclipses here, Aquarius. There's something about like being on the outside of a social group, immature people, and then you're like, this is so immature, I'm just leaving. Like there's something that you can't handle anymore. It's surrounded by people. So listen, take what you will from that. Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Page of Cups to the Tower. Like, I just feel like the universe is really redirecting you, and like a lot of you think you're in control of this, but you are, but like to a certain degree you're not, if that makes sense. Free will and destiny go hand in hand, or you could say free will and the skies, the heavens go hand in hand. Like it's like the map is not the same thing as the territory, but you need to work with them together unless you're gonna be lost. So let's go ahead and get to your future. Clarify the Judgment card. Yeah, well, this reading has come full circle, Aquarius, because the Judgment card immediately flying out is clarified by the Eight of Wands. Remember, the Eight of Wands is also your opportunity for this reading. But the Eight of Wands in your opportunity is clarified by the Five of Cups, the Death, and the King of Pentacles. And then the Judgment is here next to the Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. So, this is your legacy. This is something deeper than any sort of surface level, your job or your relationships. That may be caught up in this changing cycle, Aquarius. But this is about your legacy. Your legacy, the legacy that you're going to leave is going to be permanently altered by this eclipse season. And so if you get this eclipse season right, you're going to get like the next 2-3 years right. If you get it wrong, I don't know, it's just, people get life right and wrong all the time. Like, people can walk around and say, like, oh, there's no right or wrong, it's all, like, neutral, and it's true from a higher degree, but from a certain other higher degree, it's not true. The universe course corrects timelines, it does what it has to do. Do you realize many of you have died and not even known it? Like, many of you have gotten into a car crash, full on, and basically Spirit was like, yeah, your soul wasn't ready to go yet, and like you're just driving again in a separate parallel reality. Same soul, same everything, but just different parallel reality. And so you don't even remember this. The reason I'm saying this is because that type of mystery, that type of metaphysical conundrum, enigma is basically going on for you. So listen, I wish you the best. The only reason I'm being like, I'm just trying to cut through a little bit of resistance in you. And just remember, tarot is like the cherry on top of your sundae of your life, right? Like, so just be aware of that. So with that being said, I appreciate you, Aquarius. I hope this reading helped you, and I'll talk to you next.